Are you feeling a little bit out of control of things at the moment? Well, today I'm going to talk about taking back responsibility in your life. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then as well. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our free weekly newsletter if you want to keep up to date with all the latest episodes and get a free weekly confidence tip. All you got to do is click in the link in the show notes below. I've been getting a little bit stressed recently at certain things. And I caught myself the other day going, that is really stressing me out, or that's really stressing me out. And then I realised from something I heard, no, it's not. Stress is not an external thing that happens to you. It's what goes on inside of your body, which can be activated by something on the external world. And of course, there's always going to be things, situations that are going to stress us out. But when you can take the control and responsibility back for working through your emotions and regulating them, that's going to make a massive impact to you, right? They are created in you. And yeah, people can do some hurtful things, can say some hurtful things to you, right? And I know there's some much more extreme examples than others. Yet, if we're always giving our power away in day-to-day situations like, that stressed me, things are really stressful at the moment, then that takes a lot of control away from us, rather than working on our inner world. I've discovered, and for me, when I've been caught out of this, being like, oh, that's stressing me. It's not. What's going on is stressing my body, and I'm activated by a situation that I need to dive into a little bit more to understand why it's stressing me and then work through it, right? When we become so dependent on the external world and things to go a certain way, that doesn't help. Now, I want to ask you this. If you're so dependent on things going a certain way or not going wrong in a certain way, how is that working for you? Because if you're anything like me, it didn't do me any good, because I'd be like, right, okay, things are going well, now I feel happy. Things aren't going so well, now I feel super stressed, right? Okay, so here are some just very simple points that I want to give you today. The first one is decide. Decide that it is your responsibility to take control of your own emotions, right? That, yes, and this is not about you going, I'm never going to have any negative emotions again, because that's just not going to happen. That's, let's be realistic. This is about deciding that, yes, you may get upset. Yes, you may get stressed. And of course, if something dramatic or horrible happens, you're going to need to grieve. You're going to need to feel through it. This is about deciding that you're not going to be dependent on things going a certain way to dictate how you're going to feel all the time. You got to make that decision. The second one, how are you going to create internal regulation? And what that means is, how are you going to cool and calm and work through your emotions? For me, the most effective one is breath work. Every day I'll do like exhalations, a hold, and then inhale and exhalations through the mouth, hold, and then I'll do in and out through the nose. And I'm doing a lot of breath work practitioner training. So I'll be offering sessions on that as well. But that's a really important way. Before I get into looking at my phone or what's going on in my emails, all these kind of things, I work on my body in terms of, and it's a little bit different from exercise, although that's great as well when I do that. And I've got a 12-mile run tomorrow, I just remembered. But when you can work at regulating your emotions, that brings a lot of power back to you. Okay, and then the third one, someone to talk it through. Sometimes we can't see things outside of ourselves, and it just needs someone to challenge us or to hear us or hear a different perspective. And therefore, when you start doing that, you can actually start hearing how sometimes crazy your brain can be, blowing things out of proportion. When we keep things in our head, sometimes that it makes it a lot worse than it is. When we can start saying it out loud, we'll then start seeing things for what they are, and then we can start taking more responsibility for our own creation, what's going on in our life. Okay, my extra point just coming up. Just for that, I want to mention again that if you want to keep up to date of all the latest episodes, all you got to do is click in the link in the show notes below to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. So my extra and final point is have a backup plan. And what a backup plan is really, if you get into a challenging state, and admittedly this happens to me now and then have something you can do in the moment. Write it down, because sometimes when we get in the moment, we can get into this like such high level of anxiety, this fight or flight response, where there's a lot of adrenaline or stress being pushed out, and it's quite hard to think of what you practically need to do. If you anticipate that that could happen in advance, again, not hoping it will, but it could happen, write down a simple step or two that you can take in those moments. Take responsibility in advance. So for me, if I know that if I'm feeling exhausted or really down about something, I know that I'm going to do like some press ups or some breath work to get my energy back. If I'm really anxious or angry about something, I might need a pillow to scream into at that moment, or I might need to take some breaths in a different way to calm down myself. So having a backup plan can be a real powerful way to take responsibility of your own emotions as well. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.